In this lesson, we will look at the differences in the behaviour of individuals and how groups of people behave differently from individuals. We will then look at how this applies in the cockpit environment. Personality traits are innate, inherited through the genes. They are deep-seated characteristics, such as susceptibility to illness, and they constitute the essence of a person. They are stable and resistant to change. One of the greatest challenges in psychology is to understand how much personality people bring into the world, their genetic nature, and how much the environment, conditions and events affect them after they arrive, which is known as nurture. One can think of genetics or nature as roughly defining a broad range of potential abilities, such as IQ, and nurture as pushing a child up or down within this range. A child first develops an awareness of himself as an entity, separate and distinct from the environment surrounding him, because other people respond to him as a separate and autonomous object. This is called self-concept. As he grows, his personality is gradually developed by social interaction with other people. If his behaviour attracts approval and praise, he will continue with that behaviour. But if his behaviour meets with disapproval, he may change his behaviour. Personality is therefore the term used to embrace all the behavioural characteristics associated with an individual, and personality is extremely important when dealing with others. It refers to the total organisation of the individual's motives, attitudes, beliefs, and ways of perceiving and behaving. While we are looking at personality, we should distinguish it from attitude. Attitude, such as how one approaches illness, is a way of believing and feeling about an object or class of objects. Some people may ignore a cold, whereas others may believe it is the end of the world. Behaviour is the outward result of both personality and attitude. However, behaviour is not always the natural outcome, as behaviour can be controlled. We may not like a person we fly with, but we seldom tell them that. Because we have some control over our behaviour, it is possible to form good and bad habits. We all make assessments of personality in any social encounter, frequently by appearance and dress. Indeed, individuals are classified into 3 groups, the first of which is ectomorphs. They are tall, thin and fragile, and are considered to be introspective, sensitive and nervous. Endomorphs are soft and round in physical appearance, and we tend to think of them as easygoing, sociable and self-indulgent. Mesomorphs appear physically hard, muscular and rectangular, and are considered to be psychologically restless, energetic and insensitive. Our individual assessment of someone may of course be completely wrong. One may hope that the endomorph captain will be a good laugh on a long trip, whereas he turns out to be surly, bossy, and the last person one would wish to spend 5 days with at close quarters. A more reliable assessment of personality can be obtained by well-established interview techniques and questionnaires. Prospective pilots are frequently assessed for their psychological profile, even before they join a study course. For example, is he a team player? Although not an exact science, there are 4 types of personality according to Hans Eysenck. Extroversion, with its opposite, introversion, and anxiety, also known as neuroticism, with its opposite, stability. At the very basic level, extroversion may be associated with boldness, impulsive behaviour, and sociability. Introversion may be associated with timidness, controlled behaviour, and seclusion. Anxiety is normally linked to emotional instability, tension, and suspiciousness. Stability may be linked to reliability, consistency, and relaxed behaviour patterns. As extroversion and anxiety are on different axes of the Eysenck model, some people may be anxious and extroverted, others may be anxious and introverted. Naturally, most people have a personality near the crossroads of the two axes. But as deviation from the average increases, we find that the anxious extrovert will be regarded as aggressive and changeable. The stable introvert is regarded as thoughtful and controlled. The anxious introvert will be seen as sober and pessimistic. And the stable extrovert is seen as responsive and easygoing. Personality is a factor in many aviation accidents. The anxious extrovert tends to have accidents in which risk-taking is involved, whereas the anxious introvert tends to underperform and mismanage his task when under pressure. The ideal pilot must be self-disciplined and have the ability to control internal emotions and external actions. This places him in the stable extrovert sector of the personality model. Crew members have to work together as a team, but their individual personalities will dictate their interactive style. This interactive style can be defined in several ways. In his work on leadership behaviour typologies, W.J. Reddin identifies 8 management styles, which he portrays in a 3-dimensional grid. At one end of the grid, there are 4 rather ineffective styles, called missionary, compromiser, deserter, and authoritarian or autocrat. The missionary likes to be liked and is too democratic. The deserter takes no responsibility at all. The compromiser is easily persuaded and responds to the most recent pressure. The 4th of these ineffective types is quite common. He is the authoritarian individual, who will not tolerate dissent from subordinates. But when confronted by someone of a higher status, he will become submissive. This kind of person has a clear perception of hierarchy. At the effective end of the grid, there are 4 management styles called developer, bureaucrat, benevolent autocrat, and executive. The developer can motivate people and believes in delegation, but he is not authoritative. The bureaucrat only wants to be effective, and as a result, he has neither people nor a goal as a priority. The benevolent autocrat believes in his own ability, but he can also inspire subordinates. He likes to take over in a crisis. The 4th and fully effective style is the executive. He achieves higher morale and productiveness from his crew. He is a born leader. But styles can change, so that a non-authoritarian or submissive first officer may become an authoritarian captain, because he can, to a large degree, choose his behaviour. Reddin states that there are 2 main factors that characterise interactive style. The first concerns the achievement of the task, known as goal-directed style, G. The second concerns keeping the team happy, known as person-directed style, P. If we create a 2-dimensional model out of the Reddin grid, with axes representing P and G, then individuals can be classified as a plus or minus combination of P and G. An individual can therefore have one of the following combinations: P plus G minus, P plus G plus, P minus G minus, or P minus G plus. In general, the G plus person will be a company man, someone who wants to complete the task as his priority, whereas the G minus person will care little for the job and will put little effort into his work. The P plus person will put his colleagues' needs first and will consult them, whereas a P minus person couldn't care less about other team members. The job which the individual has may, to a large degree, dictate the interactive style. For example, the captain will have as part of his brief the need to avoid extra expense for his airline, such as by paying additional allowances to his crew if the duty day extends into a higher band. This job requirement makes his interactive style G+. On the other hand, a trade union representative will have his members' interests as a priority, making him a P+. It is considered that the ideal pilot has a P+G+ style.